In the blink of an eye, a life cut short. Sean Evans killed when a driver doing 90 miles an hour crashed into his car.
Thomas Willoughby Jr. Robbed a store, specifically a Walmart up in Porter's Neck at knife point. He stole a large TV.
His getaway involved a high-speed chase with deputies that tragically ended when he slammed into Evans' car on Wrightsville Avenue.
We called it murder. We called it first-degree murder because he was in the course of doing an armed robbery when a murder occurred.
That was in October of 2019. In May of this year, Sean Evans' family finally saw justice. Willoughby was sentenced to 37 years in prison. He apologized to Evans' family.
It did seem heartfelt. I was receptive, but it doesn't bring Sean back. I'm glad he said it.
On November 7th, 2019, police make a gruesome discovery. The body of Kimberly Bland wrapped up in carpet. Her closest friends say she would help anyone, including Andrew Boynton, her roommate.
It's just a good person who brought in somebody, and her kindness was betrayed as weakness, and he ultimately killed her for economic reasons only. The break in that case that really helped us was marrying up some of the things that were found at the crime scene, like cleaning agents and trash bags, with the defendant actually shopping for those same items prior to the time he killed her.
Boynton was sentenced October 5th of this year and is now serving life without parole. In 2016, L. John Williams was shot and killed while walking home from a friend's house.
Well, what ended up happening is it was unsolved. It was unsolved for years. And then we got a huge break. We got a break through the technology that WPD has with ShotSpotter and marrying up a case that happened from around the corner. We were able to ballistically match.
4 years later, Cedric Burnett was arrested in January of 2020 for killing Williams. He was sentenced to life without parole in April of this year.
Technology spoke through a lot of different circumstantial evidence, and we were able to finally get a 14-year-old justice. Even though that murder happened years ago, that trial happened this year.
It was one of those stories where everyone thought there's no way she would survive. Elaine Ken was stabbed 15 times by her estranged husband.
And then he threw her off a balcony. And this young woman actually was living here, but is from Norway. And she was able to take their child and go back there and nurse her injuries. She should have been dead.
It happened January 6th, 2021. Matthew Stallings was arrested the next day. He pleaded guilty in court and admitted even he thought she was dead. Ken had to learn how to walk all over again.
I just wanted to get back to my son. So I was fighting for that every single day. I was trying to get out of the hospital because they originally said that I was going to be there the whole month. And I was like, well, you have not met me yet, so.
A survival story so unbelievable, a Norwegian film crew profiled it for a documentary. Stallings pleaded guilty and was sentenced May 31st, 2022 to 15 years for attempted murder. Finally, wrapping up the year, a case District Attorney Ben David sees as the biggest break: the arrest and conviction for a man who has been on the radar for 26 years.
June 8, 1996, when New Hanover County had 140,000 people in it, when Independence Road was still dirt between Carolina Beach Road and River Road, which is where this incident happened. It was called Titanium Road.
A woman was lured by a man she thought was a law enforcement officer, even flashed a badge. He raped her, then left her in a ditch in a wooded area.
Much different place back then. It was not a place that had cell phones yet, where people could call when they have trouble. It had a good Samaritan, a jogger, who saw a woman trembling on the ground in a ditch and flagging down a police officer. And those officers took that young woman to New Hanover Regional Medical Center and got a rape kit.
That kit, however, would sit on a shelf for over 2 decades until state funding allowed for its testing, with new technology finally leading to the hot break in a very cold case.
It's called YSTR testing. And that testing was able to isolate that it was Tim Iannone's DNA to not the millions, billions, and trillions like you have with nuclear DNA, but he hit a profile that only 1 in 10,000 men have.
Timothy Iannone has also been a person of interest in 2 unsolved rapes that ended in murder. The bodies of Allison Jackson Foy and Angela Rothen were found in 2008 in a wooded area off Carolina Beach Road. Iannone was questioned then, but let go for lack of evidence. However, David says they're hoping for a break in those 2 cases.
I can't get into why that case hasn't been charged yet, but I think you know me well enough, Fran, that if we could prove it at this point, we would. I have asked for the community to come forward with additional information if they think they have it. And now that he's in a place where he can't hurt anybody, we're hoping that someone who knows something will do that.